Reading for April. The Emperor, the Sun, the World. Being a human is a transitional expression. While we're here, between birth and death, we are transforming energy that's coming from a pure place. It moves through our bodies and minds, and we express it to the world in a very unique way. We had really good and pure intentions coming here. We really were, optimistic is the word that's coming. It seems a little bit harder from this perspective to make huge changes. That's why we need to connect to our eternal self through meditation and focus, through emptying and quieting the mind, and being more receptive to the messages that come to us from Spirit. So we have legions of ancestors, with the most recent ones being the most relevant, that are part of this transformational process that involves the entire world. And it's too big to really understand with the human mind, but there's bigger effects being felt through the group consciousness that are expressing themselves in myriad ways. When we incarnate here, we do so to express the specific lineage, as well as a more individual, unique soul expression. And part of the deal being here is to sort of get lost in the physical plane and to lose ourselves. It's just something that happens. Some beings have found a really high level of consciousness while here, and that's always amazing when that happens, because they were so connected to Spirit and to their own flow of consciousness. So we're a really small part of a really big thing. We feel like we can do a lot through action, but much is accomplished through energy and vibrational resonance. Actually, much more. And opportunities can be gained or lost through that. Connections as well. So it's so important while we're here to connect to our eternal self and the beauty of our own consciousness. We are lost in the physical, and that's okay. That's very natural. But if we really want to accomplish more of our soul's intention and have a more interesting and integrated journey here, practice must be made of connecting to our eternal consciousness, to our own soul. And it's not really so esoteric as some people might make it out to be. Morning meditation can accomplish a lot. Appreciating beauty, walking outside, appreciating our animals, working on ourselves, because it feels so good to be kind, and it feels so good to let go of any destructive patterns. Our ancestors are really going for us to do that. They really are behind us. There's an unbroken lineage going back to the beginning of humanity for every individual on this planet. And while we may have lost touch with those more distant ancestors, and they might not be directly behind us more strongly, you know, it's good to remember that you're here for a reason. You had strong intentions coming in. And the one thing we don't really want to do is give up, because there's an element of faith involved. We have to somehow trust in ourselves, in our reality. It just makes it a lot easier to be here. Losing that sense of trust is really painful, and it can be cultivated. We can see signs and omens in our lives, and that helps us to feel connected to the greater whole, because this is an integrated experience, even though it may not feel like it sometimes. Some of our intentions might have been really old, like even before this lifetime. And it's also okay to, if something feels really pressing but difficult, yeah, let it go for now. If something isn't working out the way that is desired, it's not really good to focus on it in the same manner as we've been focusing on it. It's better to just put it aside and focus on something else that feels better. Don't forget that you have a guidance system in your emotions, and that will help you determine the correct path for you. Sometimes the path can be unclear in the moment. Go back to the basics. You don't have to make a decision right away. Just chill. There is an ancient wisdom to our existence, and there's a lot of guidance available. And also, sometimes whatever decision you make is the correct decision, as long as you're able to make that decision. So, like, in a way, there's no right or wrong. There is right or wrong in a broader sense. There's bad things that happen here, and we don't want negativity. But sometimes with that gray area stuff, though, it's not quite so important to, I mean, it's gray area. It's interesting. Let's read from the book a little bit. judgment. After the Hieros Gamos of the sun, the white stone yellows and then begins to redden and mature. Its power has increased. Judgment refers to the stone's ability to heal and rejuvenate, symbolized here by the bodies of the dead lovers rising from their graves. Like a scene from the final judgment, Gabriel summons them to rejoin their souls. Sol and Luna, who are existing on a higher plane, one with the light of the inner sun. Judgment is a time of rejuvenation and healing. To accomplish this, we must let go of what is dead or meaningless in our lives. It is a time to look at our behavior and review our past and to right wrongs that we have done before they come back to haunt us. Our future judgment must be based on the truth of our experiences. I love that. So, yeah, whatever small things right now we can do to take steps towards the improvements that we want, do it, because it'll feel so good just to even take those very small steps. And you can't make a huge change overnight usually. It's really important to be with yourself enough to have enough faith in yourself to stick with something long enough to start to see the changes, because it's so very satisfying, and it helps us to mature and to reach a higher plane. And then those dreams and things that we wanted desperately but couldn't see a way to before, they'll just start to magically open up if we can let ourselves off the hook a little bit, focus on ourselves and self-improvement, and let some of that stuff go if it's really bothering us. Because from that position, it's not attainable. So, we just need to learn to chill sometimes in order to come full circle and open up to it. Nothing outside of ourselves can keep us from what we want, but we can keep ourselves from achieving the resonance that we need to reach some of our dreams. Some of our dreams we're going to save for our next lives, but while we're here in physical form, it's important for us to be in a state of appreciation. Sometimes it can be a little harder to, it can be a little bit harder to get back to a harmonious state if we've been having difficulties for a long time. But it's possible for anyone to make enough improvements to basically be happy with themselves and growing, reaching for more, even from that position of a greatly improved life. Because we're flowing energy from Source into this world. This is a very special position, being human, and we can accomplish a lot more than we could imagine from right now. I want to see what this says about the Ace of Pentacles here, Ace of Coins. Okay. The rabbit is in the front of a large coin, nestled in front of a bower of the earth. The coin shows the 4 directions or elements radiating from a diamond-shaped hole. The hole in the center is the Quinta Essentia, the womb-like space that allows the creation of physical matter. This card, which introduces the suit associated with the element earth, shows how the matter emanates from and encases the soul. You are at the beginning of well-being, which could pertain to physical health, material comfort, or receiving or giving nurturing. You are on the right path to acquisitions, wealth, and success in the material world. Do not forget, however, that every manifestation in the material world emanates from the Spirit. So, what kind of a vessel are we? Are we filled up with faith and trust? Or are we bound by our own insecurities and negativity? So April really is a time of new beginnings. It's the spring. The energy is such, and it's a really good time to focus on being that conduit between heaven and earth, and allowing some pure vibration to influence us. We want to be under the influence of Source, as Abraham would say, if you know about Abraham. And I think that's a good way to look at it. So in order to be under the influence of Source, meditation is key. It's good to start that habit small, because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves and not even do it. So just a little bit in the morning, and creating other routines that are positive to build a stable platform for our consciousness to be in that higher state more of the time. And that's what I'm working on too. Okay, I have to start my morning now. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye.